Look at these two apes. This must be where they live.
Bum, bum. And welcome back to the Rowdy Studios, where we're talking. We got to talk Dale Earnhardt Jr. one more time. We got some great audio from his crew chief, Steve Letarte.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk Steve Letarte more than Dale. You talk Dale Earnhardt Jr., I'll talk Steve Letarte.
Well, before we talk, let's hear Steve Letarte talk. After the Coca-Cola 600, Dale Jr. ran out of fuel, but finished 6th.
I mean, it's been a great weekend. The car was fast all week. This car's always run very well. So I feel car-wise, this is probably our most consistent weekend we've had yet this year. Really, start to finish. I think we were embarrassed. I know I was with how we ran last week. You know, the fans voted us in the All-Star race and we couldn't make any ground, and that's just not really acceptable. So this is a newer car, and we just went back to what we've run at all the intermediate tracks. You know, we tried to get aggressive last week, and it didn't work, and I think we came to win.
So that's a pretty good night for Dale Jr., but even if he'd finished further back, the performance was there for that team. Now, I know a lot of people commented on our latest Rowdy video, say he wasn't in a race-winning car. I'm not saying he was in the best car, but that car was good enough to win the race. Yes, Junior needed some track position and all that, but the car was fast enough to win that race.
Yeah, I think it was a better car than the car he almost won Martinsville with.
Absolutely.
What I find interesting is we've talked a lot about how Dale Jr. is refinding his footing and how Steve Letarte has been his redemption. But I think it works in reverse as well. I think Jr. has sort of brought Steve Letarte back from the brink. Remember, Steve Letarte was the guy that Jeff Gordon had to publicly defend. Steve Letarte was the guy that was being blamed in some ways for Jeff Gordon's shoddy performance. And now, what happens? Steve Letarte is the guy saving Dale Earnhardt Jr. So I think
that's why this was a brilliant move to begin with. It's
so interesting to look at it from both sides of the equation.
When they first made the swap, we looked at it from the crew chief side. And it was great for Steve Letarte because it was all upside for him. He's like, you know what? This guy's struggling. If I can get him into this garage, instill some confidence in him, give him good solid race cars, I know he's got the talent to perform. That's turning out to be the case. And I love the fact that this team, maybe not running that great the last few weeks, bounced back, as he said, from a very mediocre performance in the All-Star race. That shows to me a reservoir of confidence and teamwork that Dale Earnhardt Jr. will be able to draw on as the season goes along. It's not like Dale Earnhardt Jr. is a downforce guy.
No.
Right? So Charlotte Motor Speedway, a chance to win the race, a car fast enough to win the race. He passed a ton of race cars during the event.
600, which requires keeping up with the track, keeping up with the changes.
And he passed a ton of race cars.
Right. Now, the guy that hasn't benefited from the Steve Letarte-Dale Earnhardt Jr. pairing, for another video at another time, Jeff Gordon.
You got to wonder, is he regretting at all, maybe just a little, leaving that garage? We'll talk about that later. But for now, for Buzz Cutler, I'm Bass Masters.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.